Good day, myself Dr. Arvind Sharma, Associate Professor in Physics, Government Dongar College, Bikaner. Welcome all of you. Today we are discussing about the working of two-cavity klystron amplifier. In the last lecture, we understand about its construction and its different part. In last lecture, we see that this is the construction of two-cavity klystron. Heating cathode, fluxing electrodes, anode. There are two cavities, buncher cavity, Catcher cavity, and a magnetic system for fluxing, electron bunching, drift space, RF output, and this is collector. So, in brief, these are the parts. Now, what is the working? Initially, electrons are emitted from the electron gun, and the anode present in the structure provides the desired acceleration because a potential is applied between the cathode and anode. In the absence of any RF input, the electrons will tend to move with their respective uniform velocities to reach the Catcher cavity and gets collected at the collector. But when an external RF signal is applied at the input of the buncher cavity, then this causes the generation of a local electric field inside the tube, and this electric field causes the bunching of the electron. Point to be noted that this electric field causes the bunching of electrons as the field applies acceleration and deceleration to the moving electron according to the polarity of the signal by which the field is generated. Okay, it depends upon the polarity of the signal, that is positive or negative, acceleration or deceleration. Basically, the reason for causing acceleration and deceleration is that when the direction of movement of the electron inside if the direction of the movement of the electron is opposite to the direction of electric field, if the direction of electron and opposite direction of field, then this is the case where electron experience decreases in their velocity. However, generated electric field is and the direction of movement are in the same direction, then electron experience velocity, that means acceleration and deceleration. You can easily understand it. Let us now understand increase and decrease in velocity. When the negative half of the RF signal is provided as the input to the buncher cavity. Negative half. That means negative half portion, lower negative half portion is applied, then moving electrons experience a repulsive force due to the presence of negative charge at the entering plate. At the entering plate, negative charge. Okay, or we can say due to the half of input, the generated field will be in opposite direction. Okay, so electrons feels deceleration or reduce the velocity of the electron. Further, when positive half cycle of the RF signal is provided, then at the first plate here is positive. Okay, so both directions are same, electron beam direction and electric field direction, that means force direction is same. So combinedly, both the cases, then electrons that were emitted earlier by the gun will be initially increase the velocity of the electron. That is a different thing. This part is combinedly. What is the effect of combined effect? Thus, combinedly, when we consider both the cases, then electrons that were emitted earlier by the gun will be deaccelerated. Earlier emitted, deaccelerated by the electrons emitted later will be accelerated. Thus all the electrons while moving with different velocities get bunched. Suppose that a group is running, few are of slower velocity, few are of faster velocity. So if slower are faster and faster are slower, then after some time they are combinedly reach at a point and a bunch becomes there. So due to this acceleration and deceleration, electron bunching exists in the drift space. Again, understand, the electrons which are emitted earlier, they are deaccelerated. That means initially they are faster, that means because they are ahead but deaccelerated, and the emitted electrons which are later are accelerated, so they combinedly at a point in drift space, so electron bunching occurs. This change in the velocity of electrons while moving due to RF input is known as velocity modulation. What is known as velocity modulation? Once the electron bunching is done, then the Kaiser cavity present at another end of the tube absorbs the beam energy. Okay, it is to be noted that to find the position of the Kaiser cavity, transit time of the bunchage must be considered. This is so because the Kaiser cavity must be present at a sufficient distance from the buncher cavity so that bunching can be attained in the drift space. Further, once the energy is transferred to the Kaiser cavity, point to be noted that once the energy is transferred to the Kaiser cavity, then electrons now with low energy gets collected at the collector. It's very important point. Okay, now the whole process is shown by a diagram which is known as applique diagram. Applique diagram is between the time and distance. This is buncher cavity and distance from the buncher cavity. Okay, and this is time. Here in this applique diagram, bunching process is shown. Suppose that a electron emitted from TB which is at same velocity. Electrons which are emitted earlier are slower and electrons later are faster. So they can meet at a point. Otherwise this is not possible. So this is shown in this figure. The electron traveling inside the tube under the absence of external fields acts as the bunching center. Electrons traveling inside the tube under the absence of external fields acts at the bunching center. What is the bunching center? TB, which have same velocity. Electrons moving due to influence of positive half cycle of the signal reaches faster, while the movement due to negative half cycle, what we are seeing, this is positive half cycle. This is positive half cycle. Okay, this is positive half cycle faster, and this is negative half cycle. So point to be noted that we are considering the portion when velocity is increasing. That means potential going from negative to positive. Potential going negative to positive, we are considering such kind of point for this process. Okay. Some applications are shown. Applications in satellite communication, UHF, TV transmitters, as well as radar systems, wideband, high power communication, and troposphere scatter transmitter. These are given some applications. Now at first also I tell you that I include many types of approaches of the topic, so you just familiar about that, and when you read or study the second or third topic from different points or different approach, then your revision is already in process, and the different parts which you are not known in the previous article, you can understand and you can note in your notes, and it's very necessary to understand the different approaches of the article, because in case of PG classes, if you are not familiar about different authors approaches, you can't understand the many things, because in every book or every approach of the author have some different ideas to explain the things and explain the concepts that is useful for you. Okay, this is the different approach. The klystron are invented by brothers Russell and Sigurd Variation at Stanford University. Okay, 1937. Klystron was invented, that means klystrons can be used in UHF region. What is the range? 300 megahertz to 3 gigahertz up to 400 gigahertz. There are several flavors of klystron amplifiers. What is the principle of klystron? Same principle again explained here. Same diagram in different approach. Here you can see a potential applied between anode and cathode that gives the acceleration to the electron, and a potential applied between collector and input acts as a collector plate. Okay, that is different potential. Buncher cavity, Kaiser cavity, grid, electron beam, microwave input. Here it is shown microwave input. Okay, Buncher cavity, Kaiser cavity, collector, same parts are, but this is not so well labeled. That is the previous diagram. So the diagram I show at the first, that is better than this. Okay, what is cavity? Here this is shown that perhaps we can digress a moment to discuss the cavity used in the buncher and the Kaiser. The cavity in this story is a toroid shaped. Which kind of shape? Toroid shaped object with the following cross section. Okay, 3A resonant cavity cross section is like that. It is shown is like this. Okay, equal to, it may be like shown like that. This is equivalent to a pseudo electrical form. Electrical form, L and C are in parallel, and a resonance like this. Capacitor flips polarity at resonance frequency. Okay, this kind of resonant cavity is equivalent to LC resonant circuit. Okay, you can easily understand this thing, electron bunching, that we understand. Similar things is explained in different approach. Here, if you understand a graph or a map, then or construction of the equipment, then you can easily explain it. So you just see electron beam, buncher cavity, and electron beams are traveling. Okay, A, B, C, D are 4 points in space which are explained what is happening there. Initially faster group. Yeah, that negative exertion really gave us a kick because they are fast. And what about that slower group? Downer, we get slowed down by the stupid position exertion. Okay, now we are catching up to those slow guys. I just told you that there is some friends are running, few are behind and few are ahead, and after ahead slow is their velocity, and if we all combinedly after some time by arranging their velocity of running, similar kind of thing is happening here, that some electrons are accelerated, some are deaccelerated, and they are combinedly approach at a point at the same time. So this kind of thing is given in a very interesting way, so you can understand here easily. Now we are all squeezed together. Okay, this is shown here about the electron bunching, putting all together. That means electron bunching is again explained here. Now in this article, a different approach like PPT, where pinpointed, or that means points are clearly explained, you can easily understand it. This kind of approach is known as PowerPoint presentation approach. What is klystron? A vacuum tube that can be used either as a generator or as an amplifier or as an oscillator at microwave frequency. That means klystrons are used for microwave frequencies as a generator, amplifier and oscillator. Klystrons is a linear beam device. Electrons flow in a straight line focused by an axial magnetic field. We show in the first diagram a magnetic system that focuses the electron beam. So this is known as axial magnetic field. The velocities of electrons emitted from the cathode are modulated to produce a density modulated electron beam. That is very important point. Velocities of the electrons emitted from the cathode are modulated to produce a density modulated electron beam. Okay. Again, a construction of two cavity klystron is shown. Cathode, Buncher cavity, Kaiser cavity, drift space, microwave input, anode, cathode, anode, collector. Okay, this is a two cavity klystron amplifier. A very good diagram. That is really what is the apparatus in the laboratories and how it is appearing. So you here anode, cathode, Buncher cavity, Kaiser cavity, RF input and collector, drift space. This is known as drift space. Same thing. So you can easily understand what is the working. Again same thing. Electrons are emitted, after that accelerated, deaccelerated, electron bunching. Okay. Last point, the deaccelerated electrons give up energy to the fields inside the Buncher cavity while those that have been accelerated absorb energy from its field. Okay. Performance. This information is important for you for the small questions for section A. Frequency from 250 megahertz to 100 gigahertz. That means 60 gigahertz is nominal. This is the frequency range for 250 klystron. Power 10 kilowatt to 500 kilowatt. CW to 30 megawatt burst. Okay, power is 10 kilowatt to 500 kilowatt and 30 megawatt burst. Power gain 15 dB to 70 dB. Power gain is 15 dB to 70 dB. 60 dB is nominal. Bandwidth limited 10 to 60 megahertz. Noise figure. Theoretical efficiency, that is important part. Theoretical efficiency is 58%. Nominal 30 to 40%. Applications we already seen. Again it is given. This is important data power oscillator 5 to 50 gigahertz. In this article, again another approach of this topic. The figure is shown in different approach. Approximately all parts are labeled. Okay, a potential between cathode and anode is not shown here. This potential is also given here. Otherwise, maximum parts are well labeled. Okay, but first figure is more better than these things. So you can understand easily this topic from this article also. So what you learn here that when we read the different articles in different books, then that enrich your knowledge also and your explanation or presentation power also. So students, this is very important suggestion for you that in PG classes you study from different books. That means you read a topic from 2 or 3 books, so you can easily understand and you can build your concepts. Okay, thank you everybody.